Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rex, and today we're doing r/entitled parents. Anyways, I hope you enjoy. My dad makes us give him our underwear so he can figure out which one of us clogged the toilet. I'm not sure this belongs to sub. Okay, it's stuff. My dad discovered that the toilet was clogged in the morning. He asked me and my sister who did it, and neither of us did it, so we said no. He told us that if he knew it was one of us because there's blood in the toilet and no one else here gets periods. Please note that, while I am AFAB, neither my sister or I were on our period. He at first just grounded us into our rooms, but the more we didn't see anything, the angrier and more entitled he got. He proceeded to force us to stand in the hall outside the restroom until one of us confessed, saying that he deserved answers. We were not allowed to leave to use the other bathroom or to get something to eat. We were not allowed to talk or sit down. He periodically went by and interrogated us, stepping into our personal space and trying to intimidate us. This went on for about 1 to 2 hours, maybe longer. At one point he was interrogating us, and I started crying and hyperventilating. He scoffed and said, "You wouldn't be crying if you were innocent." He then got up in my face and stared me down. I closed my eyes. He was so close I could feel his breath on my face. Eventually, he scoffed again and went away. My sister and I whispered close to each other, telling each other that we didn't do it. We just debated having one of us confess anyways, but decided that we would face him together truthfully. Another 15 minutes goes by and my dad comes back. He tells us that since neither of us would tell him who did it, we would have to change out of our underwear and he'd expect it for blood. And whoever was on their period was the one who clogged the toilet. The hell? I'm sorry, what? I initially refused, but I was too scared to do anything except softly say no. He got even more pissed and said that if I didn't, he'd take it as an admission of guilt. I know you guys are probably expecting me to put up a fight, but at this point I was just starving and wanted it over with so I could go eat. So me and my sister complied. I wasn't wearing any underwear. It was a Sunday morning and I was in my pajamas, so he made me put on a pair of his pants so he could look at mine. He inspected and obviously found nothing because neither of us were on our periods. He then decides that instead of him, God forbid, being wrong about something, we must be using tampons, and that's why there was no blood. What? I suggested that maybe someone had cut themselves shaving. He glared at me and said in an incredibly condescending voice, "Really? That's what you think happened?" Eventually, my brother came home and my dad gave up and let's go, saying some bullshit like, "You now have permission to go make food." What the hell? Screw you. I'm not sure if it was because he came to his senses or because he didn't want to punish like that in front of other people, but I didn't really care. I was just glad nothing else had happened and I could go hide under my covers in my bedroom and cry. It didn't end up eating breakfast that day, and he basically ignored us the rest of the time we were there. Too long, didn't read. My dad was convinced either me or my sister clogged the toilet because there was blood in it even though neither of us were on our periods. He punished us and made us take off our underwear so he can expect it for blood so he could find out who did it. What? That's like borderline abusive. This guy didn't have very many role models, evidently. He seems to be a very horrible dude, and I feel bad for that person because that's not something that someone should do. Anyways, let's just go to the next one. Entitled mom tells me she lives in my house after refusing to leave my property. EM equals entitled mob, CD equals chill dad, LB equals little brat. Also, by the way, guys, the TB72 is just the guy's username. So it's basically, I'm just gonna say me or whatever. So I live on a river, and it's a very popular place during the summer. I have some riverfront property, and my house looks onto the river across the street. I've always had some problems with people littering and destroying my rear view front property, so I try to make it look secluded, but this made it worse. Usually, I would just have to tell people that they are on private property and point at the several signs and they would leave. But some people are different. Well, today we had a different person. At around 12:45, I saw EM and LB waltz right onto my property past the 2 no trespassing signs. At first, I thought they didn't see the signs, so I went down to tell them how it's private property. Me: "Hey ma'am, could you please go somewhere else to swim?" Entitled mom: "What? No, we got here first." Me: That's not my problem." Entitled mother: "Well, then leave us alone." "But this is private property." "Yeah, I know," points at the sign. "So, could you leave?" No," rolls eyes. "But even you said it's private property." At this point, I was getting really frustrated because she even admits that it was private property, but what she said next made me pissed. Entitled mother: "Yeah, I own this property. Can't you see my house?" Points at my house. "Lady, that's my house. Now leave before I call the police." I take a step closer, hoping she'd back off. I couldn't be more wrong.
"Get away from my son, you pedophile!"
I had no words for this and I called the police. The police show up and start talking to us. PO equals police officer. Officer: "So what is the problem, sir?" Mother: "This man is trespassing and trying to molest my son." PO looks at me with a sorry man look and I reciprocate. Me: "Look lady, I have my keys on me, so if you want to try to say that's your house, we can test it out now." EM: "That's stupid. I don't need to prove anything." Well, I'll go show the police that I live here. Well, I'll go show the police that I live there. Me, police officer, and entitled mother with little brat walk up to my house and I open the door with my key and unlock my car. I'm in the driveway. EM tells the police officer I stole her keys and he tells her to leave. TLDR. EM refuses to leave my property and claims it's hers. I get the police involved. And apparently he forgot to talk about the chill dad, so yeah. I don't think these people are mentally sane, which is why this is on the subreddit, I guess. I'm entitled to your house. You bought it, you worked hard for it, and you go to work every day to work for it. But it's mine because it's near a river. Shut up. Just mind your own business, okay? And get your own house. Chill out, lady. Entitled mother waits until I go to the bathroom and then lets her kid eat all of my food at a restaurant. Alright, here we go. EM is entitled mom, EK, spawn of Satan, or just kids in general. DD, decent dad. AM, amazing manager. Alright, let's dive into some context here. So, in my city, amid the whole pandemic, patio dining has just started opening in restaurants. I've been super careful during this whole thing, social distancing, the whole bit. Yesterday, I finally decided I want to go eat at a restaurant for the first time since March, and this one great restaurant near my house was doing patio dining. I show up and grab a table and place my order. Shortly after the food comes, EM and EK take a seat at the table nearest to me. I really needed to pee and I had a whole bunch of stuff with me. I'd been running some errands. So I turned to entitled mother and asked if she would mind watching my stuff from her seat while I went to the bathroom. She was super sweet. Oh sure honey, go ahead. And then I went on my way. But then, oh lord. When I came back, I didn't even know what WTF I was looking at. There was a spawn of Satan sitting in my seat with his bare hands shoveling my food into his mouth. All of my bags were rummaged through and full of food from his dirty hands, and EM was just sitting at her table scrolling through her phone. Me. What the hell happened here? Yeah, me too, I'm also wondering that, dude. What happened? Entitled mother. Oh hey, sweetie, it looks like he took a real liking to your food. He just couldn't keep his paws off. Ma'am, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and you don't know where I've been, and I don't know where your child's been, yet you thought we could just share food? He's eaten almost all of it. And what about my stuff? Entitled mother. Excuse me, you mangy tween. I'm 19, by the way. I wasn't gonna say anything, but you don't need to be eating all of that food, unless you want to get fatter than you already are. Oh my god. I also don't like you implying that the baby has something. As for your stuff, we saw some stupid knickknacks you wanted to play with in there. What did you want me to do about it? Quit whining and eat the rest of your food. Oof, I'm in no way overweight right now, but as someone who struggled hard with eating disorders in the past, I was seeing red. Oh, and those stupid knickknacks she mentioned? 90% of it were birthday presents for my mom, whose birthday is coming up next weekend. Oh, and all the while as we're arguing, this spawn of Satan is still eating. Entitled mother and I start raising our voices when the awesome manager comes out. Entitled mother. Thank God you're here. This mangy child is trying to take our food and our stuff right over here. I'd like you to call the police. He looked at EM and then back at me and then back at EM. Ma'am, I'm not sure if you're maybe not in the right mindset. You seem maybe a little unhinged, but I was actually here when this young lady came in and ordered. I actually brought her food out since we were understaffed. I mean, I surely could have mistaken you two if you weren't a hag, but unfortunately for you, shrugs. At this point, a man arrives, our decent dad. I don't actually know for sure, but I'm assuming he showed up late to join the EM and EK for lunch after work because he was on call still. He noticed the commotion and a here we go again look. He hung up and came over. I explained the whole situation to him and the EM gave her twisted side of the story and he immediately believed me, which makes him think that she's definitely pulled some BS like this before. Decent dad. Honey, let's just leave. Please, come on. Awesome manager. Yeah, you guys are definitely leaving, but you still have this young lady's meal to pay for and whatever reimbursement is needed for these items you ruin unless you'd like to call the police to be involved. Entitled mother. Ha, in your dreams. I'm not giving you or this child a penny. Let's go. Grabs the kid and starts leaving and motions for a decent dad to follow her. Decent dad really silently came up to me in AM and started apologizing profusely and taking out money from his wallet to give me. Decent dad. Here, please take this. I'm so sorry. I'm genuinely looking into a divorce currently with my lawyer, but she can't know about it just yet. Here, I'm really sorry about your stuff and your food. Please replace everything on me. I'm so sorry. Well, good on him at least. At least he gave it back, he compensated for what his crazy ass wife did. He closed his wallet and left it while still apologizing. I feel so bad for that guy, jeez. I hope he gets out of that situation as soon as possible. Anyway, I think I find some comfort knowing that entitled mom has a surprise divorce fastball heading her way. That's gonna be a fun time for decent dad and pure amusement for little old me. Too long didn't read. Entitled mother waited for me to go to the bathroom at a restaurant and lets her devil spawn eat all of my food and ruin my stuff. Awesome manager friends with police, and decent dad pays for damages. This is pretty much the epitome of what the entitled parents subreddit is about, right? Like, she did not give a single care in the world that her kid was making a pig mess and digging through all of his stuff. I'm pretty glad this subreddit actually exists, because, like, it's great that people can share these stories and, you know, and, like, people agree with them and things like that. Like, it doesn't go unseen anymore, which is nice.